Is it working now? I mean, it's sending out data. Okay. There we go. That is much better. Okay. Don't know why that took so long. I need to find out how to get rid of all the BS. Dogs barking. Keep the door open for ventilation. This room is absolute ass. Um, one here, one here. How do I have? Whoops, that was not what I wanted. Um, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Um, okay. Mute that. Working. Ah, how do I have a better system? That. Click on. That. Click on. That. Okay, there's another viewer, but I guess that's just my other tab, because ain't no way there's another viewer. That's just crazy. And then that is the wrong one. Full screen, content, details. Click on that. And then have it as another tab. Tired of streaming to 0 people? I mean, that's just kind of how streaming works, you know? When you're starting off, you can't exactly get people to care. There, voila. Oh my god, it's so ass. It's so ass cheeks. Pop out. There we go. There we go. And then this one, I have no idea why this is ass too. Um, so many notifications. Pop out chat, community. Let's put it up there. There's a chat room. Chat. Chat. Chat settings. Pop out. Pop out. There we go. That's what we want to see. Popped out up there. And then, okay. Everything's working good. We can start studying. Let me get the Spotify working. Just gonna have some cafe jazz in the background. Let me check if it's working. Working. Spotify's working. Okay. Lower that. Increase that. Lower that. Okay. Now, let's get started. me find a better position for this camera. I also need to be able to reach my homework too. That's not a good angle. This is not favorable, but video could do it. Okay. Camera up. It's just so out. The wires gets in the way. Maybe the other one was better. Okay. Now this works. And then camera that way up. And then okay. Just got a straight dot on. We're gonna go over aerodynamics. I didn't have a problem when I took the practice test for aerodynamics, but doesn't hurt to just start from step 1. Okay, airfoil are structures that you guys can't even see what I'm working on. Well, that's a shame. Massive shame. Huge. I don't have a better way to do this. Yeah. What's the... Nope, that doesn't work. What if... I mean, it's pretty clunky, but it'll just have to do. You guys can see this, right? Okay, what if I move it over here so that I can see both pages? You guys can't see that. Okay, that's just wonderful. How to do? We could just bend this stuff like this, and then look like that. Okay, that works. You guys can see. Apparently there's 3 viewers. That's insane. I don't think that's true. Must be a bot among us. Let me just get off of this place. Don't want to watch that. And then get off of this place too. Okay. Let's get started with studying. Pop, pop, do. Okay. So airfoils are surfaces that react to air movement, that react to the air, that interact with flowing air. Okay, so those are airfoils. I need to get a... Well, we'll figure out the kinks later. Yeah, we'll figure out the kinks later. Let's not worry about all that. Chord lines says is an imaginary straight line from the leading edge to the trailing edge of an airfoil. Okay, that's... So, in this context, talking about chord lines, it's talking about wings, the cross section of a wing. So this is the chord line for this cross section, and then if the flaps were deployed, then this would be the chord line. And then relative wind is the wind felt by an airfoil. It is created by the movement. It is created by the movement of air past an airfoil. By the motion. Okay, I see what it is. So, relative wind is the combination of the air moving around the airfoil and the airfoil moving through the air. Okay. Wind felt by an airfoil. Okay. Parallel to and travels in the opposite direction. That is also important. Parallel to chord line, to flight path, not chord line. Flight path. And opposite of direction. Okay. Next page. Let's not do that one. Or textbook. So the angle of attack and the angle of incidence. Angle of attack is the angle between the chord line and the relative wind. Angle between chord line and relative wind. You guys can't see that, but you're just gonna have to trust that I do things beyond the frame of the camera. The angle of incidence is the angle at which the wing is attached to the fuselage. Okay. Angle of wings angle of wings to fuselage. I don't have to think too hard about that. And then we're gonna come back to the problems later. Okay. The axes of you know, I'd love to have cheap viewers, but I'm not here for the viewers. I'm here for the camera to point at the work that I'm trying to do. Because just need a camera to be running in order to study basically unopposed. And if I do study and I want to take a break, then I'll be taking a break with people. So it's a win-win situation. So get your cheap viewers out of here. In fact, no. Okay. Lateral axis. Okay, the axes of an airplane. Axes of aircraft. Airplane, very different. Because aircraft just is anything that goes up in the air. So balloon could be an aircraft. So let's draw an airplane. There's my airplane with its beautiful nose. And it's gotta have the beautiful aerodynamic pointy nose as per Aladdin. I'll be back. I drank too much water. And I also need to get more water. Otherwise I dehydrate. BRB. Okay. Okay, I'm back. See, where do we leave off? Dry off the hands. Let's get back to it. If there's an ad playing on Spotify, that's gonna be really sad, but I can't really study with the music in the background, but you guys are here to chill. The axes of an airplane. So this is one axis. This is another axis. And then this is the last axis. So lateral is wing to wing. We need to find a better way to think about that. But lateral is wing to wing. Longitudinal and then vertical, which is vertical, goes up, is nose to tail, and then vertical. Okay, vertical is points up. Down. Okay. It says here that the lateral axis rotation about this is called pitch. Okay. I'm running out of space, but oh, these notes are going to be so ass. Okay, might as well just... I mean... Yeah. Yeah, okay. I should be doing this with a pencil. So, this is pitch. My god. Longitudinal control, longitudinal stability. Lateral control, lateral stability. Longitudinal axis, roll is controlled by the ailerons. Center of gravity is where all the weight is concentrated. So, roll, lateral, longitudinal, and vertical. If you rotation, about is so lateral is pitch, longitudinal is roll, and vertical is yaw, which is the rudder, the L, how do you spell that? The A-I-L-E-R, ailerons, and the elevator. Okay. And these have different stabilities. So the elevator stability is called
Real Etsy buyer review for handmade decor by
longitudinal.
a real Etsy seller. They're truly beautiful.
Longitudinal.
Original.
Step.
Discover pieces created and loved by real people.
Lateral step.
To shop the Etsy app.
Business owners,
yeah,
every
lateral
missed
step.
call is money left on
lateral
the table. For $15
stability.
a month, get a dedicated business number with OpenPhone.
And
you
then
can manage calls,
directional
assign conversations, send auto replies,
stability.
and skip voicemail with
Okay.
OpenPhone's AI agent that captures leads 24/7.
And then lift.
Join over 60,000 businesses using OpenPhone. Get
4
20% off
forces.
at openphone.com/Spotify.
Lift,
They'll even pull
weight,
your existing numbers for free.
thrust, and drag.
Openphone.com/Spotify. OpenPhone. No missed calls. No missed customers.
Lift, weight.
Join us at Buffalo Wild Wings
Thrust.
for new happy hour and late night deals like $4 tall domestics, $6 margaritas, $5 craft imports, $6 apps, $4 well drinks, and more. Whether you're celebrating the end of a workday or just have a craving for mozzarella sticks, it's time to snack and raise a glass for less at B-Dubs.
Okay. So, obviously, Spotify's not working because it does actually run ads, which fucking suck. So, how do we deal with that? Let me find an alternative to Spotify. Let's not have Spotify play. Let's add a source, application audio. No. Add source. Audio output capture. No. Add source. Application. Music. Make source visible. And then we're gonna have it run on Firefox. Yeah. Run it on Firefox, Cafe Jazz. And then just run it.
You're not going to believe what happened. Tell me everything. I'll show you on Monday.com. So I started the biggest initiative.
Cafe Jazz. Cancel. Music. Properties. Window. Fire. And then music is way too loud. Let's run that down to that. Let's see how it is. Okay, how is it over on the screen? If I pause it, it should still be running on the. It's too quiet. Okay, it works. Yep. Okay. So we'll just have it run in the background. And hopefully, when this one has an ad, I can actually skip it. Okay, let's get back right. Let's get right back in. This sticky note is updated. More aerodynamic. Yep. Air is a gas. When allowed to expand, air occupies. During space and density decreases, temperature, atmosphere, and all affect air density. Air density affects aircraft performance. Bernoulli's principle. Velocity of the. Okay, Bernoulli's principle. Surely there's a better way to do it. You know, frankly, we don't even need to write down all these things. This is stupid. Well, let's just finish this page just first. Bernoulli's principle. So it says, as velocity increases, pressure decreases. Pressure decreases. Okay. As velocity increases, pressure decreases. That's Bernoulli's principle, which allows for a lower pressure area above the wing and a higher pressure area below the wing, which causes. Okay, let's run through the actual question, see if we get them wrong. Let's get a blank sticky note, cover up the answers. Blank sticky note, cover up the answers. Okay, for figure 1, let's pull out the actual textbooks. For figure 1, there's a better way to slow this. Holy crap. For figure 1, Okay, there we go. Here's the textbook that I was looking for. Okay. Says refer to figure 1. Says the acute angle A Okay, so I just came back with food from the door, and how do I do this? I could just study and eat. That is an option. However, is there an ad? I swear there's not. There's not. I'll just finish the food first. Yes, I'll finish the food and then I'll get back to studying. No, that's not the same. We should just keep studying. There's no space for them. It was Chipotle, so it's actually not that good for keeping this place clean. But I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm the worst youngster ever. Okay. Open the lid. Put it on. So, voila. Look at this. A lot of lettuce. Let's get rid of that first. And I just threw a fucking utensil on the floor. Okay, I got it. Go grab another utensil. Okay. I'm back on chopsticks. Hopefully this can go a little better. But there is so much lettuce. Okay. Okay. It's gonna get really messy. I'm gonna have to clean up this space, but let's get back to work. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Okay. So it says the acute angle A, which is between the chord line and the relative wind, is either the angle of incidence, which you can't change because it's attached to the fuselage, so that's not it. The angle of attack or the angle of dihedral. Nah, I didn't see an angle of dihedral as a textbook, so I'm gonna have to go with B. And then it says answers A and C are incorrect. Okay. Next question. The term angle of attack is defined, well, based on the previous question, where it was the angle between the chord line and the relative wind. The angle of attack should be between the wing chord line and the relative wind. So B and A. It says B and C are incorrect, so yeah. A is the right answer. Next page. Flip this textbook. Underneath. Hide the answer. Thank you, Rocio. Yeah, I've been procrastinating on this Ha 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 ha. But anyways, I've been pushing back these studies a real long time since it's been like 2 years since I first started flying, but then everything in life just got in the way. So yeah, thank you for that. Whatever you're going through, hope you can enjoy your time here. What am I studying? I'm studying for a certificate so that I can fly planes later on. Like, the timeline looks pretty rough, but right now I'm just studying for the ground school portion of the flying plane certificate. So where was I? The angle between the chord line of the airfoil and the relative wind. Didn't we just go over this? It should be the angle of attack. It says A and C are incorrect, so that is the right answer. Thank you. Yeah. No, yeah, this ground school is certainly very fun, but I basically forgot everything. Thank you so much for popping by. Hope to see you back, because I'll be studying hopefully tomorrow too, if I can wake up. You're gone. What is this plot? Okay, must be like 10. Okay. The angle of attack is defined as the angle between the chord line. Yeah, it's A. Yup, it says A, so. Sports. Well, I'm not trying to get a sport flying certificate, so we're gonna skip those questions. And then this was all stuff that we were skip that. Rag. Okay. Get another bite. Parasite drag. And induced drag. So parasite drag increases as airspeed increases. Okay? Let's write that down on the sticky note. Parasite drag increases as airspeed increases. Induced drag is a byproduct of lift. The high pressure, which is trying to flow around, causes vortex, induces vortices. As the angle of attack is increased, lift will increase. So will the vortexes and downwash vortices. Induced drag will increase as airspeed decreases. Okay. So that's the only part that I need to care about. So induced drag increases as airspeed decreases. We might want to just copy this chart down. Yes. Or rather, let's just keep it at that. The simpler sticky note is, the better. Put that on the wall. Get another Biden. Okay. So, first question. Which statement relates to Bernoulli's principle? And then we said that Bernoulli's principle is when velocity increases, what was I trying to say? When velocity increases, pressure should decrease. Okay, that's Newton's nope, that's not first law. That's Newton's third law. Answer is Newton's third law. B, I think it's the principle behind lift, but it's not Bernoulli's principle, so it has to be C. Oh. No, A and B were both Newton's third law. Whoops. Rookie mistake. The four forces are lift, weight, thrust, and drag. Yeah. Right. Friction. Yeah. So it's A. And then what was the purpose of a rudder on an airplane? I believe it was to control the yaw, which was the vertical axis. So it's A. Next question. What was the relationship? And I didn't read this part out loud, but whatever. So lift equals weight, and then thrust should equal drag. So it should be A. Lift, thrust, and weight. Lift and thrust, positive, weight, drag. Lift equals weight, thrust equals drag. Okay, cool. So those are all correct. When are the four forces that act on an airplane in equilibrium? During So if it's unaccelerated flight, that's very vague, so I'm gonna read the next answer. When the aircraft is accelerating, it's not true, so it's not B. And then when the aircraft is on rest, or when the aircraft is resting on the ground, it should be when the aircraft is resting on the ground. So there's no lift and a lot of weight, so it's not going to be equilibrium. So it's during an accelerated flight. It's A. Yep. B and C are both incorrect. Cool. LSA, LSG. I don't know what those are. They do not refer to the shows. We're gonna skip those stuff. Stability. Okay. We might have to write down these notes. There's a sticky part of the note. I'm gonna grab another bite. Okay, let's get back to the work. Where's my pen? Okay, so stability is wanting to return to its original position. Static stability is the initial tendency. And then positive dynamic stability is this tendency of a oscillating airplane. Okay, so that's a whole lot of doohickeys. Oh yeah, these are those things that we need to write down. So, if the airplane was loaded, center of gravity, CG aft of aft limit inability to recover from a stall. Location of the CG with respect to the CL slender lift. Refer to figure 117. Figure 117. Well, there's figure 117. Okay. CG aft of aft limit. Okay. So, poor stall spin recovery. Or spin. And then lower stall speed. Which should be a good thing. If you have a higher stall speed, that means that you can't Yeah, so is a good thing. Higher cruise speed. That's also a good thing. And then decreased longitudinal stability. Longitudinal stability, which is the elevators. Throw that on the wall. And then CG board of board limit. Okay. Increased stability. Increased longitudinal stab elevators. Lower cruise speed. Lower cruise speed due to a higher angle of attack. Alright. Flies at a higher angle of attack to create more lift to counter the added downward force produced by the tail. Yes. Due to lower cruise speed due to tail exerting downward force. So more lift required. And then the third point, higher stall speed, which is a bad thing. Higher stall speed, but better stall recovery. So, those are aerodynamics. Let's do the questions after vote. just lost my chopstick. Great. Didn't watch that. I'm gonna be back. You know, I might just eat the entire thing so that I can get back to actual study. I think that might be the smarter idea. I'm gonna do that actually. I'm just gonna eat. Hello to the one person joining us over on Kick. Thank you. But you won't be hearing anything because I'll be eating, so. Okay. I know why, right? let's answer your questions. I think I got a pretty good bite in there. Dear God. Don't bump over the camera. That would be